lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, the 29th of June in the year 2026. Let's now take a look at the news headlines. Robert CHABINGA calls for peace, condemns political intimidation. Lusaka City Council funds 884 youth and women-led businesses with 19.4 million kwacha. IBA and ZIM call for ethical advertising practices. In international news, US-Iran pause strikes set Doha talks on HORMUZ Strait. In sports, Canada urges South Africa to reach World Cup round of 16. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Camnet TV main news now showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, on the Kenstream app as well as the QTV app. With the main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Mafinga South aspiring candidate Robert CHABINGA has accused political opponents of intimidation and spreading misinformation ahead of forthcoming elections, while calling for peaceful political campaigns in Mafinga South constituency. Speaking during a live address from Mafinga South, Mr. CHABINGA said the constituency remains peaceful and should not be subjected to political violence or unnecessary tensions. He said he had been working closely with community members and political partners on the ground and felt compelled to respond to what he described as false claims and attacks directed at him by Tonse Alliance members. Mr. CHABINGA alleged that some individuals were attempting to tarnish his image through social media and other platforms. He further claimed that there were efforts to use law enforcement agencies against him through what he termed as politically motivated accusations. He maintained that he had committed no offense and challenged his critics to engage in issue-based politics instead of personal attacks. Mr. CHABINGA also praised President Hakainde Hichilema's recent political activities, particularly successfully launching of development projects in parts of the country. He said the large turnout at such events demonstrated continued public interest in government programs. Mr. CHABINGA urged political players to avoid provoking violence and instead focus on presenting their policies to voters. He warned that innocent citizens often become victims when political tensions escalate. He further appealed to law enforcement agencies to act professionally and ensure that peace is maintained before, during, and after the election period. Mr. CHABINGA reiterated his commitment to democratic competition and said political leaders should respect differing views while allowing citizens to make informed choices at the ballot box.
I have been compelled to react to some insinuations that are coming from the Tonse and the so-called Umozi. I don't know whether it's these other political parties. I might not even know their names, whether it's PNR or whatever it is called. Yes, we have been seeing that they have been campaigning from the time they started their launch in Kitwe. And we have seen them hitting the ground, traversing the country in some provinces. And there were celebrations that they were celebrating prematurely rather, that their ground is favoring them. Not until yesterday, I think the country witnessed what we call a serious mammoth. When we talk about the mammoth, I want to give kudos to the UPND National Management Team and the campaign managers that are managing the citators to make sure that they are that successful rally yesterday, which was the launch. Kudos to His Excellency the President for delivering a very resounding policies, very resounding things that the government that it has done since 2021 when they were elected into office. Also to the supporters that turned up in numbers to go and drum up support for the launch. And I think that gave them headaches. The opposition had a lot of headaches.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has disbursed 19.4 million kwacha under the 2026 Constituency Development Fund CDF to support 884 small and startup enterprises across 7 constituencies in Lusaka district. The funding targets youth and women-led community groups, clubs and cooperatives in Kabwata, Kanyama, Matero, Munali, Lusaka Central, Mandevu and Chawama constituencies. The initiative aims to provide startup capital for income-generating projects, promote entrepreneurship and create jobs at community level. According to the council, the funds will support businesses in sectors such as carpentry, poultry, tailoring, block making, agro-processing, welding and other service-based enterprises. Munali constituency received the largest allocation of 2.8 million kwacha, benefiting 113 groups. Kanyama constituency recorded the highest number of beneficiaries, with 178 groups receiving a combined 2.7 million kwacha. Matero constituency received 2.7 million kwacha for 113 groups, while Kabwata constituency received 2.7 million kwacha for 120 cooperatives. Mandevu constituency received 2.7 million kwacha for 123 groups. Chawama constituency received 2.7 million kwacha for 142 groups, and Lusaka Central constituency received 2.7 million kwacha for 95 groups. Lusaka City Council said all 884 beneficiary groups underwent rigorous selection process. Ward development committees vetted the applicants before council officials conducted technical appraisals to assess the viability of proposed projects. The council also provided orientation and financial literacy training to all successful groups before releasing the funds to enhance accountability and ensure sustainability of the enterprises. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba said the disbursement demonstrates the council's commitment to using the 2026 CDF allocation to unlock grassroots entrepreneurship and reduce poverty through community-driven economic activities. The funding forms part of government's decentralization agenda aimed at empowering local communities, stimulating economic growth, and creating employment opportunities at ward level. The Independent Broadcasting Authority IBA and the Zambia Institute of Marketing ZIM have urged broadcasting stations across the country to ensure that all advertisements aired on their platforms comply with advertising standards and ethical requirements. In a joint statement, the two institutions emphasize that advertising plays a critical role in informing and influencing consumers, and that broadcasters have the responsibility to ensure advertisements are truthful, decent, responsible, and do not mislead the public. IBA and ZIM said broadcasters must ensure that all advertisements comply with the Code of Advertising Practice and other broadcasting content standards. The institutions warned that advertisements should not contain misleading or deceptive claims and must be supported by evidence where necessary. They also stress the need for advertisements to uphold decency and good taste while avoiding content that may be offensive or harmful to audiences. The two bodies further called for the protection of children and other vulnerable groups from inappropriate or exploitative advertising practices. They said broadcasters and advertisers should refrain from promoting discrimination, prejudice, or harmful stereotypes and must ensure that advertising messages do not encourage unsafe or irresponsible behavior. IBA and ZIM directed broadcasters to ensure that sponsored content and promotional messages are clearly identifiable to prevent consumers from being misled. The institutions further encourage broadcasting stations to strengthen internal mechanisms for vetting advertisements before transmission in order to enhance professionalism, consumer protection, and public confidence in the media and advertising sectors. Ruling United Party for National Development UPND Luapula Province Vice Youth Chairman for Politics Dr. Jackson Kalenga has condemned remarks allegedly made by Opposition Patriotic Front former Lunte Member of Parliament Mutotwe Kafwaya, describing them as divisive and contrary to President Hakainde Hichilema's message of national unity. Speaking in a reaction to the statement, Dr. Kalenga said the remarks undermine the government's efforts to ensure that all regions of the country benefit equally from development. He stressed that Western Province deserves the same respect and development opportunities as every other province in Zambia. Dr. Kalenga said President Hichilema has consistently preached unity and has made it clear that no Zambian should be left behind in benefiting from national development. He questioned why anyone would seek to portray the people of Western Province as inferior to those from other parts of the country, adding that such sentiments have no place in a united Zambia. Dr. Kalenga called on Mr. Kafwaya to retract the statement and publicly apologize to the people of Western Province. He noted that government's development agenda is aimed at benefiting all 10 provinces, citing plans to improve infrastructure, including the establishment of international airports across the country. He further warned that statements that promote regional divisions risk undermining national cohesion and the spirit of one Zambia, one nation. He urged political leaders to use their platforms responsibly and promote messages that strengthen national unity rather than create divisions among citizens.
I want to condemn that statement with all the statement deserves. The president is always preaching about uniting the people of Zambia to the point that no province, no Zambian should remain without benefiting from the cake of this nation. Western Province is a province like any other province, including Northern Province, where Honorable Mutotwe Kafwaya comes from. If Kasama deserved the international airport, so has Northwestern or Western Province. Why should he marginalize the people of Western Province and count himself as superior than those? Then if today the law catch on him, he starts crying to say UPND is attacking me. You know, I used to think that the honorable member, the former honorable member for Lunte, is, a member of parliament material. Now, I'm surprised. I don't know if I can count him like that. Because he's thinking he's as of a councillor, not an MP. So, I want to call upon Honorable Kafwaya to retract that statement, to go back to the same station and apologize to the people of Western Province. We all want development. The president has indicated clearly that he wants all the 10 provinces to have an international airport. If Honorable Kafwaya doesn't want to go to Western Province, we want to land there with an aeroplane. So he should therefore desist from such kind of utterances. And coming from a former cabinet member, former cabinet minister, is insultive. So honorable member, Mtoto Kafwaya, please go and retract, because we as UPND, we preach peace every day.
Governance expert and human rights advocate Wesley Mianda has urged Zambians to critically evaluate campaign promises and forecast on realistic development plans as the country heads towards the August elections. In a statement issued to Camnet News, Mr. Mianda cautioned voters against being swayed by political rhetoric, personalities, campaign slogans, and party loyalty, saying the future of the country should be determined by credible and achievable policies. He observed that election campaigns often attract intense competition among politicians, musicians, and social media influencers, with some political leaders making promises that may be difficult to fulfill. Mr. Mianda said citizens should subject every campaign pledge to serious scrutiny to determine whether it is realistic and capable of improving the lives and livelihoods of ordinary Zambians. The governance expert stressed that sustainable development depends on economic stability, sound policy implementation, and effective management of national resources. He warned against what he described as unrealistic political proposals that could undermine the country's development agenda. Mr. Mianda further noted that investors are more likely to create jobs in environments characterized by policy certainty, economic stability, and predictability. As campaigns intensify, he called on all presidential candidates to clearly outline the contents of their party manifestos and explain how they intend to implement their proposed programs if elected into office. He said voters should carefully assess which candidates offer realistic and attainable plans for national development, economic growth, and job creation. Mr. Mianda also appealed to citizens to place national interest above political divisions and personal ambitions, urging them to make informed decisions that would safeguard Zambia's future.
We will see more musicians, politicians, and the other influencers running up and down in all directions. Politicians especially will say whatever their mouths permit them to speak, just to try and manipulate the voters in their favor, to the point of promising even undoable things. However, after all is said and done, we need to remember that the future of Zambia should never be determined by numerous campaigns that we have seen taking shape, or maybe promises that we have seen that are being given by politicians, or emotions, personalities, or political party loyalty alone. But it calls for a sober assessment and a serious scrutiny of what will best improve the lives, livelihoods, and opportunities of each and every Zambian. Hence, each and every campaign promise proceeding from the mouths of all politicians, of course, must be subjected to proper evaluation to see if they are realistic or not. What every Zambian should understand is that politics is a very serious business. It is not about who makes the loudest promises or crafts the catchiest slogans or ferries the loudest crowds to rallies. No. It is about leadership.
A road traffic accident involving 4 vehicles has been recorded in Lusaka along the Great North Road near the SOS roundabout, leaving 2 people seriously injured and prompting police investigations after one driver fled the scene. According to a statement issued to Camnet News by Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi, the accident occurred today, June 29, 2026, at around 11 hours, involving 4 motor vehicles traveling from north to south, according to the Zambia Police Service. Mr. Chilabi says the first vehicle, a B-Ben truck and trailer registration number T998EZ and T256 DXF, was driven by 29-year-old Tanzanian national Salehe Maulidi Kiluke of Dar es Salaam and is escaped unhurt, although the vehicle sustained extensive damage to its rear. Mr. Chilabi said the second truck, also a B-Ben trailer bearing registration number T272EDD and T247 BYD, was driven by 47-year-old Ali Ayub, also from Dar es Salaam. He likewise escaped unhurt, but the vehicle suffered severe front end damage and a shattered windscreen. Mr. Chilabi said the third vehicle, another B-Ben truck and trailer registration number T480EM and T206EDF, was driven by Abdullah Masudi, age 45, of Dar es Salaam, and he sustained serious injuries after the crash. A passenger in the same vehicle, Ignatius Pignolo, aged 40, of Ndola, was also seriously injured. Mr. Chilabi says both were rushed to Matero Level 1 Hospital, where they are receiving treatment. He said a fourth vehicle involved in the accident remains unidentified, as the driver reportedly fled the scene immediately after the crash. Mr. Chilabi says police have since launched investigations to trace the motorist and establish the circumstances surrounding the accident. He said the cause of the accident has not yet been determined. Mr. Chilabi has urged motorists to exercise caution along the busy highway as investigations continue.
The Zambia Police Service in Lusaka recorded a serious road traffic accident involving 4 motor vehicles today, June 29, 2026, around 11 hours along Great North Road near the SOS roundabout. The accident involved 4 vehicles traveling from north to south. The first vehicle was a B-Ben truck and trailer bearing registration numbers T998EZ and T256 DXF, driven by Salehe Maulidi Kiluke, a 29-year-old Tanzanian national from Dar es Salaam. The driver escaped unhurt, while the vehicle had extensive damage to its rear. The second vehicle was another B-Ben truck and trailer bearing registration numbers T272EDD and T247 BYD, driven by Ali Ayub, a 47-year-old Tanzanian national from Dar es Salaam. The driver also escaped unhurt, while the vehicle had a shattered windscreen and extensive damage to its front. The third vehicle was a B-Ben truck and trailer, registration numbers T480EM and T206EDF, driven by Abdallah Masudi, a 47-year-old Tanzanian national from Dar es Salaam. He suffered serious injuries, while the vehicle had extensive damage to its front section. Also traveling the same truck was Ignatius Pignolo, aged 40, of Ndola, who also suffered serious injuries. The injured driver and passenger were rushed to Matero Level 1 Hospital, where they are receiving medical treatment. The fourth vehicle was an unidentified motor vehicle with a unknown registration number. The driver fled the scene immediately after the accident. The cause of the accident has not yet been established. Police have since launched investigations to determine the circumstances surrounding the accident and to identify the driver who fled the scene.
The Civil Service Commission has launched a post-recruitment assessment of the recently concluded recruitment and deployment of 2,000 health workers, a move aimed at strengthening future hiring processes and improving public service delivery. Speaking during a courtesy call on Wapula Province Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinamakangwa in Mansa on Monday. Commission Chairperson Dr. Cholwe Beyani described the recruitment exercise as a significant milestone in government's decentralization agenda. Dr. Beyani said the assessment will examine the successes, challenges and lessons arising from the recruitment process while identifying measures to enhance future recruitment exercises. He noted that the decentralized recruitment system has enabled provinces to make human resources decisions closer to the people, thereby improving efficiency and responsiveness in public service delivery. Dr. Beyani urged human resource management committees across the country to continue upholding accountability, transparency, and professionalism in the recruitment process. He also called on provincial authorities to provide adequate induction for newly recruited health workers to ensure quality healthcare services. Meanwhile, Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Prudence Kangwa thanked government for allocating the province 317 health worker positions under the recruitment exercise. She disclosed that 300 of the recruited officers have already reported for duty, while efforts are underway to resolve payroll placement challenges affecting 31 officers. Mrs. Kangwa further revealed that Luapula Province remains committed to maintaining high standards of efficiency and accountability following its recognition as Zambia's best performing Human Resource Management Committee in 2025.
On behalf of the provincial administration and the people of Luapula Province, to warmly welcome you, Dr. Beyani, and your delegation to Luapula Province. We are honored by your visit, which demonstrates the Civil Service Commission's commitment to strengthening public service delivery. We are particularly grateful that your program includes a consultative meeting and a post-mortem assessment of the recent recruitment of 2,000 health workers, as well as an engagement with the newly recruited officers at Mansa General Hospital. Allow me to sincerely appreciate government for favorably considering Luapula Province during the recent recruitment exercise. Luapula Province received 317 positions comprising 244 under Treasury Authority and 73 under PSMD allocation. Out of the 317 officers, 303 have reported for duty while 14 have not yet reported. Further 31 of those who have reported are yet to be placed on the payroll because the allocated post IDs were already occupied by serving officers. We remain hopeful that this matter will be resolved expeditiously. The province continues to experience challenges in filling consultant positions due to the limited availability of qualified personnel. The Human Resource Management Committee remains active. Out of the 4 planned sittings for 2026, 3 have already been held. The most recent sitting.
And that particular story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
In every celebration, there's a simple choice being made. To belong, count me in. In moments of love and promises for tomorrow, count me in. At the checkout line, in the middle of an ordinary day, a reminder that every number matters. Count me in. Across our communities, our streets, the same message finds us. Count me in. From the everyday worker to the hands shaping our future every day, the call is the same. Count me in. of the traditions that bring us together, the message becomes impossible to ignore. Count me in.
This election season, your vote counts. Get your NRC and voters card ready.
Count me in.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589 or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
There comes a moment when ordinary ends and greatness begins. The Healing Word Ministries International proudly invites you to a powerful 5 days revival conference. Theme, Stepping into Reloaded Greatness. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3, hosted by Pastor Victoria Chaluba, alongside anointed ministers of God, Papa Billy Lubanza of Flaming Fire Ministries, Kabwe, Dr. Abedi Bwanika from Christ Witness Church, Uganda, and Father Robert Sahubwa of the Expecting Healing, Breakthrough, Restoration, and Divine Direction. This is not just a conference. This is your moment of transformation. Beginning 2nd July at HWMI with powerful worship by the HWMI praise team. Don't miss what God is about to do. See you there.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. You are all blessed for life. Thank you for having tuned in. My name is His Royal Highness Dr. Papa Billy, coming here to invite you to a great 5 days revival conference. 5 solid days revival conference hosted by Pastor Victoria Chiluba and the Healing Word Ministries International, that will take place from the 2nd to the 7th of July 2026 at the Healing Word Ministry in Ibex, Lusaka. You don't have to miss this, with a great theme, stepping into the reloaded greatness according to Genesis 12, 1 to 3. There will be powerful teaching, worship, prayer, and spiritual impartation. This is a gathering that not to miss. I come to invite you personally not to miss this meeting, because it's going to transform your life, it's going to lift you up, it's going to change your environment. Come one, come all, let's worship Him in Jesus' name.
The Healing Word Ministries International invites you all to a 5-day revival conference. Join us as we step into reloaded greatness. Genesis chapter 12 verse 1 to 3 with our host, Pastor Victoria Chaluba. Our speakers will be Papa Billy Lubanza from Flaming Fire Ministries in Kabwe, Dr. Abedi Bwanika from Christ Witness Church, Uganda, and Father Robert Sihubwa from the Anglican Church. Our venue is at the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill off of Kablonga Road. The gathering is on the 2nd of July from 17 hours to 20 hours. Also, on the 3rd to the 7th of July from 9 hours to 16 hours. We have the music coming from the Healing Word Ministries praise team. See you there.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Zambia's beauty industry takes the main stage. For the first time ever, the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development presents the Cosmetology Expo. It's happening 15th and 16th of July 2026 at Zikis University in Lusaka. Whether you sell, supply, train or transform, it's your free moment to get seen. Hairdressers, makeup artists, wig makers, nail technicians, spa owners, skin and hair product producers, equipment suppliers, this is your stage. Show off your skills, showcase your products and equipment, and run live demos for hundreds of industry players. Sponsorship opportunities are now open for brands looking to connect directly with Zambia's beauty and cosmetology sector. Connect, collaborate, grow your business. Exhibitor slots are limited and by application only. Register now via the link in the caption. For inquiries, call 0979 152 742 or 0968 323 558. Join the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development in making history by being part of the first Cosmetology Expo.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still joining us on the Camnet News Desk. And now in international news. The United States and Iran have agreed to pause mutual attacks for now and hold talks on Tuesday in Doha, the capital of Qatar, to work out their dispute over the Strait of HORMUZ, US-made outlet Axios reported Sunday. The two sides will stand down for now and vessels can move freely as technical talks are said to continue, a U.S. official was quoted as saying. The Tuesday talks were originally set to be held in Switzerland and focused on Iran's nuclear program. However, renewed tensions in the Strait of Hormuz prompted the talks to be moved to Doha, shifting the focus to shipping security in the strategic waterway. During negotiations in Switzerland a week ago, the U.S. delegation agreed with Iran to establish a hotline between the U.S. military and Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps to coordinate traffic in the Strait. However, as of Saturday, the hotline still wasn't operational. According to the report, the United States conducted strikes on Iranian targets on Friday and Saturday, citing continued Iranian aggression against commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran responded by striking U.S. military positions in the region. Here is a roundup of international stories courtesy of Africa News.
The United States and Iran has agreed to post mutual attacks for now and hold talks on Tuesday in Doha, the capital of Qatar, to work out their dispute over the Strait of Hormuz. The two sides will stand down for now and vessels can move freely as technical talks are set to continue, a U.S. official was quoted as saying. The Tuesday talks were originally set to be held in Switzerland and focused on Iran's nuclear program. However, renewed tensions in Strait of Hormuz prompted the talks to move to Doha, shifting the focus to shipping security in the strategic waterway. The U.S. conducted strikes on Iranian targets on Friday and Saturday, citing continued Iranian aggression against commercial shipping on Strait of Hormuz. Iran responded by striking U.S. military positions in the region.
The European Union is imposing new restrictions on visas for Somali nationals after a disagreement with Mogadishu over the return of irregular migrants to their home country. Somalis will no longer be eligible for multiple entry Schengen visas, and the processing time for visa applications will increase to 45 days. Diplomatic passports won't be exempt from fees or offered simplified procedures. The measure comes against a backdrop of the EU's tightening immigration policy. Brussels has complained of a lack of cooperation from Somalia over the return and readmission of its nationals deported from the EU. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed contested the EU's criticism, saying Mogadishu will accept all Somalis. But he said many people claiming to be Somali were nationals from other countries, posing as Somali in order to be granted asylum in Europe. Brussels has previously imposed similar measures on Ethiopia and the Gambia, but they've since been lifted after an improvement in cooperation over deported nationals.
Europe is facing a deadly heat emergency, with the WHO warning that more than 1,300 excess deaths have been linked to the continent's record-breaking heatwave since June 21st. In France alone, officials say around 1,000 more deaths than expected have been recorded in just a matter of days. Across Europe, millions are enduring dangerous temperatures, with nearly 200 million people expected to face highs of 35 degrees Celsius or more. The WHO has called heat stress the silent killer, warning that homes, schools and workplaces across the continent were never designed for these extreme conditions. He says climate change is making what were once considered once-in-a-generation heat waves an almost annual event, with Europe warning twice as fast as the global average. The WHO is warning governments to strengthen heat action plans as the continent braces for more extreme temperatures in the days ahead.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Canada has reached the FIFA World Cup round of 16 for the first time after a dramatic 1-0 victory over South Africa in the tournament's opening knockout match. The breakthrough came deep into stoppage time at Sophie Stadium in California when Steven controlled the clearance before firing a powerful volley into the bottom corner to seal a historic win. The Canadians had dominated much of the match but were repeatedly denied by South African goalkeeper Ronwen Williams, who made 5 saves to keep Bafana in the contest. South Africa defended resolutely and threatened on the counter-attack but struggled to create clear scoring opportunities, registering just 1 shot on target. Canada also welcomed back star defender Alphonso Davies, who made his first appearance of the tournament after recovering from a hamstring injury. His introduction added energy to the attack before Steven finally broke the deadlock in the second minute of stoppage time. The victory marks Canada's first ever knockout win at a World Cup and continues an impressive run under coach Jace Marsh, who praised his players for believing until the final whistle and called them Canadian heroes.
Canada has reached the FIFA World Cup round of 16 for the first time after a dramatic 1-0 victory over South Africa in the tournament's opening knockout match. The breakthrough came deep into stoppage time at Sophie Stadium in California when Steven Estaquo controlled a clearance before firing a powerful volley into the bottom corner to seal a historic win. Canada will now face either Netherlands or Morocco in Houston, with a place in the quarterfinals at stake, while South Africa exits the tournament after a spirited campaign that showcased the team's resilience on football's biggest.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, let's take a recap of stories that made headlines. Robert CHABINGA calls for peace, condemns political intimidation. Lusaka City Council funds 884 youth and women-led businesses with 19.4 million kwacha. IBA ZIM call for ethical advertising practices. In international news, US-Iran pause strikes set DOHA talks on HORMUZ STRAIT. And in sports, Canada urges South Africa to reach World Cup round of 16. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. It reads, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." That ends the Bible reading, and that concludes this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now showing on the following platforms: Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Kenmark Stream, and also YouTube and Facebook, as well as the QTV app. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Good evening and God bless.